Back to Capitol Hill we go this morning. Senator John Husted is with us on the line now. Senator, thanks for taking the time today. We appreciate it.
Great to be with you, Chris.
I want to talk. Obviously, the big story on the Hill right now is the government shutdown showdown. Time is running short to figure out how we're going to fund the government past the end of this month and the beginning of the new fiscal year. And I realize that right now, the ball is largely in the House's court, the other chamber's court. We were talking with Congressman Latta about this yesterday, but I'm curious your thoughts, because ultimately at some point the Senate is going to have to do their part. And I'm wondering where you come down on this this split among many Republicans of whether we should be looking at a short-term funding extension for a couple of months to allow for more negotiation on a set of permanent budget bills, or whether we should be looking at a clean extension of the continuing resolution, a CR, that would go at least until the new year, if not through the entire fiscal year coming up.
Well, it's pretty clear on my end. We need to keep the government open and keep serving the American public. They don't expect us to bog down in partisan tit for tat, and that's what I intend to do. It will really be up to the Democrats in the Senate, because it requires 60 votes to come to the floor in the Senate. It will be up to the Democrats to decide whether they want to play games or whether or not they want to keep the government running. But so far, we've done a very good job of passing appropriations bills through the regular process in the Senate on a bipartisan basis. But it's going to come down to a choice that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats will make, whether they want to continue to cooperate or whether or not they want to hold the process hostage for some item that they want to negotiate for. So it's their choice.
Have you had any negotiation or any discussions? I don't want to say negotiations, that may be a strong word, but any preliminary discussions with any of your colleagues on the other side of the aisle about these issues?
Well, I mean, that's not a negotiation it's a decision Chuck Schumer will make. He may negotiate with John Thune, the majority leader, on it, but it really doesn't need to be a negotiation. We have a process of running the government. It's called the appropriations process. We should just continue to pass those bills out of the committees and send them to the floor for for funding different aspects of the government, the national defense, all of the things that we normally fund. It will be a choice, though, that they will make. Do they want to do that? Do they want to continue to cooperate on a bipartisan basis, or do they want to create some kind of national moment where they show a standoff and show to their base that they're fighting Donald Trump and the Republicans? Frankly, as a newcomer here, I find it all kind of nonsense. We just got to get our jobs done.
The other side, of course, will say that if the Republicans don't negotiate in good faith, they can't support anything that
I
just...
understand, but seriously, that's not... They've been voting for bills, appropriations bills, on a bipartisan basis. They've been coming out of the committee. We just need to... they just need to vote for them on the floor. It's pretty simple.
We will leave that there, stick a pin in it, and obviously there will be much more on this when we get even closer to this deadline at the end of the month. As you mentioned, I don't think anyone wants to see the government shut down. No one wins in that scenario, so much more to come on that.
I'll be here. We've done 4 overnight sessions so far, and I'll stay overnight or as long as we need to stay to get it done, because I just think that people want Washington to do its job and to stop bickering, particularly in the light of things that happened in the last 24 hours with Charlie. It's just the violence and the hate and need to be set aside in favor of just doing the people's work.
Absolutely. Let me ask you about a couple of other items that you recently have been a part of working to pass bills that you are working on that are really, I think, timely for a lot of families who are dealing with questions over education, particularly higher education, how to afford it, and so on. You have a couple of education pieces. One that we were talking about in the news headlines yesterday that involve education and SNAP benefits for working students. Explain more about this.
Yeah, this is something I learned about when I was lieutenant governor, when I would travel around career centers, and principals would tell me, yeah, this earn and learn process where students are going to school and working at the same time with apprenticeships and things like that. It's great, except for a lot of students, lower income students, couldn't participate because perhaps their younger brother or sister or their family would lose their food benefits, maybe a school lunch program, SNAP benefits. And as I dug into it, I found out how really insidious this is, that kids who want to work and get out of poverty and get a skill and graduate from high school job ready really are trapped and can't do it because of the consequences to the rest of their family if they earn any money. And so I'm trying to change all that with the FEED Act to give to make them eligible, to give them the ability to work without taking away the benefits to their family if they're growing up in poverty, and help them break the cycle of poverty, to see them have upward mobility. It's something that has to.
That's really what it's all about, ultimately, is breaking that cycle.
Absolutely. You can't, these students, they grow up maybe in a household where no one's working, and they don't have a job skill. Here they are. Hey, I want to learn to be in the construction trades. I want to be a CNC machinist, and my school will teach me things, but I can't get any work experience in high school because if I make any money, I harm the rest of my family. And we're gonna. This is crazy that we do this to kids. We say we want them to graduate high school and go to work, and then we don't want to give them a chance to have any job experience because it harms the rest of their family. Yeah. And hopefully we're going to just one small thing to break that cycle and give people more upward mobility.
The other bill with respect to higher education revolves around affordability and understanding, what the cost is of a higher education, of getting a degree. It's called the DECIDE Act. And I think this is a real common sense piece of legislation to give people information that they need to know when they're considering their options with respect to getting a degree.
Yeah. Students right now don't really know when they go to school, how much does somebody make who graduates from this program? What's the average loan that a student graduates with? What are the chances I'm actually going to be able to pay back that loan? Mm-hmm. What are the chances able to get a job in this? Like, the colleges need to give the students this information, and we want to put it on the college scorecard so that when students see, hey, this is where the college ranks. Well, this is also where my major ranks. This is where people who graduate in this major, this is how much they make. This is how much loan, this is. That way you can decide whether you can even pay your loan back or whether this is a good investment for you. Without that information, how do you really make a good choice?
The idea has been floated, and I want to clarify this. The idea has been floated to limit a student's borrowing ability based on their income potential based of their field of study. This would not do that, though, would it?
This doesn't do that. We did some of that in the budget reconciliation bill to make sure that you literally couldn't borrow more than you could pay back. That mostly happens at the graduate school level. There is a cap on what federal loans you can get in law, but there are other loans that you can get are outside of federal loans. So, but this wouldn't do that. This is just transparency. This is information to help somebody make a decision with their eyes wide open to say, hey, if I'm going to have to take out $30,000 of loans, but I'm only going to make $50,000 a year, and half the people that graduate don't even get a job in that field. Well, then I'm going to have to really scratch my head and say, is this really the right choice for me?
Yeah.
And this will help them make better decisions.
Yeah. It again seems like a common sense measure. So we will watch that as it progresses through the process. One other real quick question in the time that we have left that I want to throw out at you, because I just happened to see this story today. Yesterday, the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, said that he would ask Congress for a $19 billion appropriation to update and upgrade the air traffic control system in this country. As we know, there have been a number of high-profile incidents, accidents, and near accidents over the past several years. No one questions the need. This is long overdue, but $19 billion is a big lift. Is that, especially for a Congress where cost cutting has been the top priority, is this something that you could support?
Well, in the budget reconciliation bill, we did put money in for upgrading, what I would call the down payment on upgrading the air traffic control system. Mm-hmm. I would always want details about what the money is being spent on and what accountability that will be related to the money. But of course, we need to update our air traffic control system. Our skies need to be safe. Passengers need to be able to trust when they get on an airplane that when they land or take off, that the people running the air traffic control system have that under control and it's going to be safe. Mm-hmm. And modernizing it is long overdue. And definitely something that I would support, assuming that the details are and we get some kind of guarantee about what the outcome is going to be.
We will leave it there. Again, Senator John Husted with us this morning. Senator, thanks very much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Great. Glad to join you.